Hello, hello, hello. Most websites are losing traffic because Google is now showing results in AI overview and AI mode. And a lot of searchers are using ChatGPT, Perplexity, and other AI tools to look for information and to do their research, which means a lot of websites are losing traffic. But for you to get that visibility in AI overview and all those platforms, you need to have a good foundation SEO. And the only way for you to have a good foundation SEO is to have keyword mapping. Keyword mapping is different to keyword research. Keyword research is very, very popular. Keyword mapping, not as popular. So, what's the difference between keyword research and keyword mapping? Keyword research basically is for you to research a keyword, have a list of keywords, and just, it's not as strategic as keyword mapping. Keyword mapping is the process where you then start targeting your homepage, your category page, your service page, and every section of your website. You start targeting and allocating one keyword. One, that's what is important here. Not allocate 10, 15 keywords for a page. That is a problem when you work with agencies and consultants that are trying to oversell SEO for you. They try to sell that, oh, we're ranking for 50 keywords for the homepage and we're getting X amount of traffic. It doesn't make strategic sense. It doesn't make conversion sense. So, what I'm trying to say with keyword mapping, it gives you that strength and that ability to be able to create sections of your website for each journey of the customer. Your homepage will have a target keyword. Your product page will have a target keyword. A good example is a financial services organization. The main keyword for the homepage will be bank. And then for each subcategory of those pages will be services. Services like current account will be products, not services, will be products like current account, credit card. Those are products in itself. They're not necessarily keyword. And from those products, you can then expand your keyword. So keyword research and mapping is important because it helps you have a clear understanding of your website structure. It gives you an understanding and help you prevent two pages competing for each other. I'll give you a good example. A credit card page on a bank website is targeting a commercial intent where people that are ready to get a credit card quote. On a blog section or information section, the content will be different. So you need to be able to identify the right keyword so you don't have your product or service page competing with your blog page. And the only thing that will help you avoid that and have a good foundation for your SEO is keyword mapping. Then another thing that keyword mapping, why it's important and the benefits of keyword mapping is it's going to help you identify missing information. Even if you've done a good job with the SEO of your website, customer behavior changes, search patterns changes, the way search engine results are rendered to customers changes. So your keyword mapping will help you identify content opportunities. So that means you don't just do your keyword mapping once and just forget about it. It's an ongoing activity where you continuously try to identify changes in the information, changes in the customer intent. Your customer intent by default is going to be across the customer journey. A customer that is not aware about your product will be doing a general search. How are you appearing as one of the option for that customer at that stage of the journey? If you create a keyword map mapped towards the customer journey, you then start asking yourself the question, do we have a keyword for demand generation? Do we have a keyword for customers that are with our competitor, but they're not happy with our competitors and they're thinking about leaving our competitor? How do we target those customers to bring them to us? That is what keyword mapping helps you start thinking. Keyword mapping also help you start identifying how to measure performance. Performance measurement in SEO is evolving because traditionally you measure performance by seeing your ranking. How much traffic are you getting from organic search? And how does your ranking compare with the competitor? Now that AI mode, ChatGPT, AI overview, they're all stealing or taking informational keyword from website across the board. How do you measure performance in SEO? You measure performance by the visibility and the presence of your website and its content in AI overview. You measure the visibility of your content in those citations by Perplexity, by ChatGPT. That is how you go about that. And another thing keyword mapping helps you do is it helps you identify those important pages. Take, for example, in financial services, you have different organizations with different strategies. Those strategies will be leaning towards the products that they want to prioritize. So when you have a good keyword map, when your senior stakeholders inform you about the strategic objective of the organization, you're able to narrow down and understand how to focus your SEO efforts on important activities. SEO sometimes suffers from people doing things for the sake of doing it, not seeing the impact. They do things just because it needs to be done. But when you then ask, how does that link to business value? How does that link to the strategic objective? It becomes a problem. But when you have a good keyword map structure, you avoid that problem. So the question then is, how do you go about keyword mapping? I'll give you a good example. I worked with a client recently, and when I was working with the client, first thing I identified was for you to do keyword mapping, you even need to have keyword research. This client did not have any keyword research done. They didn't have any information. All the information they had sat with the external agency. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here bashing agencies, but for a business leader, you need to have your own internal SEO tool. The two major tools out there that most people use are Ahrefs and SEMrush. I don't have any affiliation. I'm not sponsored by them, but those are the two options you have. Then you also have another tool that would help you with the on-page optimization. So before you start your keyword mapping, you first need to start with a keyword research tool. You need to start with a question: what is the primary keyword for the homepage? What is the primary keyword for your service category page or product category page or product collection page? And then what are the primary keywords for those individual product pages and service pages? Your website fundamentally will be broken down into two. Your product, service, and all those pages will be mainly people that are closer to conversion. They'll be a little bit transactional. And then the other part, your blog section, your article section, those ones will be more towards informational keyword, people that are in the awareness phase, the consideration phase, people that are in the commercial comparison phase of the journey. If you do not have those keywords allocated correctly, you stand the problem of pages of your website competing for each other because everything will be done in a scattergun approach. With clients that I've worked with in the past, this keyword mapping session is what informs the content production, the content optimization, not just for the website alone, but even for YouTube, for social media, for off-page content that you're producing and distributing. This is the fundamental that you need to focus on. So, with those keywords, you also need to start thinking about the intent. Ask yourself the question: what is the main intention of your homepage? Is it brand focus? Is it transaction focus? Is it commercial focus? Is it conversion focus? Your homepage cannot do everything. You need to prioritize and choose one thing as the primary keyword. And then you then go into the other sections of your website. Identify each intent. You can't have a website that everything is just intent, is just conversion alone. That is not possible, and that's not even healthy. People that arrive to your website need to have content for each phase of their journey. If they arrive to your website and they need information, they don't know anything about your brand, your website should be able to funnel them with information, comparison, and then conversion information. And even after they've purchased from your website keyword map needs to give them the information they need for post-purchase interaction on your website. People that just want to learn how to use something they've bought from you, or they want to learn about your industry, you should have content for that. What are the tools that you need for keyword mapping? I mentioned earlier on SEMrush, Ahrefs. You can use Google Search Console as well. If you're not a new website, you can mine your Google Search Console data. You can look at auto suggest. When you type a keyword into Google, there's the autocomplete and the auto suggest that it gives you. That is also a rich source of keyword that you can use. Then, how do you find the right keyword for each page of your website? That is a question that those keyword tools cannot answer. That is a question you want to answer by yourself. That is the importance of having a customer journey map. A customer journey map would show you the steps and the stages of your customer from when they know about you to when they convert. And that is how you then map your keyword. You need to map it manually, and you need to have this information shared across the whole organization. So everybody knows that, okay, if we're doing anything on the homepage or whatever page they're working on, this is the primary keyword. The content team does not think it's a different keyword, while the page search team thinks it is a different keyword. Everybody just walking in different angles. You work collectively when you have a defined keyword map that is shared across the teams. For Google Ads and other paid advertising teams, your keyword mapping needs to integrate theirs as well, because you don't want your SEO competing with your Google Ads. That's how you avoid keyword competition. That's how you avoid two channels fighting with each other. As I mentioned, you start with a keyword research using those SEO tools. Then you then group those keywords into themes. For example, if you're working on financial services, you have the bank as the main homepage keyword, or building society. And then you have current accounts, savings accounts, credit cards. Those are themes. Those are primary keyword, category keywords, and they're products as well. They're just not keywords. So you group those keywords into clusters, and then you start mapping those keywords to different pages. Remember again, you do your keyword research, you group them into theme, you start mapping them to pages, and then you start aligning them to the intent you want that page to serve. You need to determine the intent. Someone that is looking to get a credit card is a broad topic. But when they're looking for specifics, if they're looking for a zero interest credit card, or they're looking to transfer their balance, whatever kind of intention they have, you need to have a dedicated page for those intentions, because you cannot have one page do everything. That is old school SEO. You need to focus on your product, the customer intent, and then optimize it as well. Then another thing keyword mapping will help you do, will help you see a 360 view of your website from a keyword perspective. You see all the keywords, and then you start asking the question, how does this keyword connect with each other? What products are in similar range? What product can we upsell, cross-sell What product can we then link to each other? That is what your keyword mapping helps you with. If you do not have keyword map done, your internal linking strategy will not be strategic. It will just be done for the sake of it. There will be no natural flow. The content, consuming content about credit cards on the website, a financial service website, should easily just flow into other sections as it relates to the content they're consuming. It needs to be thematically similar and relevant for them to be able to navigate your website seamlessly. That then helps even with generative engine optimization, AI overview, and things like that. The AI overview, ChatGPT, AI mode, all these things, they all serve one single person, the customer. So if your keyword mapping is done with the customer in mind, while you're not focusing on pleasing Google and pleasing those AI engines, you're pleasing your customer. If you give all those information that they need across the customer journey, when they go into that search, and obviously your domain authority, your domain needs to be strong with good backlinks. When they go searching, it makes it easier for your content to be cited, because with you focusing on those keyword map, your content will be unique. So the best thing for you to do when you're doing your keyword mapping as well is to also lean a little bit towards long tail keywords, because you know when your customer have a specific need, they're more likely to search long tail keywords. Even ChatGPT, AI mode, and all this AI overview, most of the searches on those platforms are complex, long word sentence type searches. So if you focus on specific need and intent, you're more likely to get that result. So basically, create a keyword list, filter the keyword. Don't focus on search volume. Focus on customer intent. Focus on your customer journey. That is how you create an SEO keyword map that aligns with other marketing channel. Because if you're thinking about the customer journey, if you're thinking about the customer intent, that is the same thing your paid search team is thinking about. That is the same thing your offline marketing, email marketing, they're thinking about. Creates that synergy naturally. And also with your keyword map, you want to bring in your paid advertising team as well. You want to look at pages that you've assigned intent to. If it's a high value page where there's expensive traffic coming from paid advertising, you want to understand, do we need to have a single page targeting both SEO and paid advertising, or do we need a dedicated page for Google Ads? Those are the questions that keyword mapping helps you solve. My name is Femi Olajiga. I'm a growth marketing consultant. If you're looking to grow your website organically and even through paid advertising, conversion rate optimization, if you're looking for a holistic, growth focused marketing implementation, connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to help you. Reach out to me, drop me a message, and I'll be happy to help you. I'm available for consulting. Thank you. Bye.